So today I am actually going to be doing a TV talk, which I don't think I've done one in quite a long time. But this past Friday, you guys, was the season finale, not season, series, sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm still not over it. Series finale of Vampire Diaries. And I just have to talk about it with someone because I'm just like, one, I still can't believe it's over. This is it. We get no more Vampire Diaries episodes. And I'm just a little bit heartbroken. But I wanted to talk about the series finale. So that's what this is. There are going to be a ton of spoilers for the series finale since it's what we're talking about. So there's going to be a ton of spoilers. So if you have not watched the finale yet, I would not watch this video unless you don't mind being spoiled. So if you haven't watched it yet, don't watch this. Go watch the finale and then come back and we can talk. Here we go. Let's get into the finale and some spoilers. So, first off, I actually did not take notes on what I want to talk about, so I will apologize in advance if my thoughts are kind of all over the place and I'm jumping back and forth everywhere. I should have written down notes, but I didn't, so this is just what's coming to me now off the top of my head. So, anyway, so I watched the finale on Friday. It's now Sunday, so I've kind of had 2 days to kind of process and think things through with the finale. And I am kind of disappointed. I'm sure probably some people are disappointed. Some people probably like the ending. I'm kind of disappointed only because, not that I didn't like the ending, I just felt like I didn't have enough closure that I wanted. There was a lot more that I wanted to know, and I felt I didn't get that closure, enough of a closure. I really wish they had done a 2-hour finale episode. I know they did like the TVD Forever 1 hour special where the cast and crew talked about the show and the characters and all of that, and that's great. But I really wish they would have done a 2-hour finale episode. Because I felt like some things towards the end were kind of rushed. And again, like I said, I feel like I didn't get enough closure, not the closure that I wanted. And so I really wish they would have done a 2-hour finale, but they didn't. So what are you gonna do? So kind of the things that like I feel like I need more closure for is just what everyone is kind of doing now. Like, I know they showed a little bit with certain characters, and I know, like, okay, so it shows at the very end, Damon and Elena they said they had this long, happy life together before they found peace. And you see Elena is back with her family, her parents, Aunt Jenna, her dad, all her family's there except for Jeremy, which I was like, where the heck is Jeremy? Is he not dead yet? Like, how come we don't see him in this? But anyway, so, they live this long, happy human life, and then they find peace at the end of it, and Damon finds peace with Stefan at the end, and Elena's with her family. But some of the things I was wondering, like, I wish they would have shown, okay, So they said they had this long, happy life together before they died and found peace. But, like, did they have kids? Did they have grandkids? Like, what did their life sort of look like? All we know is Elena finished medical school, okay? And then they moved back to Mystic Falls. But then we don't know anything else except they had a long, happy life and then died, and now they're at peace. And so I'm like, okay, well, what does Damon do? What did he do for a living? Did they have kids? Did they have grandkids? What does their life look like? Okay, I'm glad they found peace in death, but I want to know, what did their happy, long life look like? And we didn't get that. Also, Jeremy, again, with all the characters, it tells you very little what they're doing, but we don't know anything else. So, Jeremy, we see him at the very end, came back, and I guess he was helping out with Caroline and a lot of school that they opened up. And so, okay, Jeremy's helping out with the school. So, but what is he doing? Like, I still don't have much information. Is he a teacher now? Is he still hunting? Like, is he still a vampire hunter? Like, what's the deal with Jeremy? Like, and was, was he back in Damon and Elena's life? Like, were they kind of this happy little family, the three of them, before they died? Like, just so much unknown. And then Bonnie, I love Bonnie. I want to know more of what happened with Bonnie. They say she decides to live her life to the fullest. She's going to travel around the world. Okay, great. But what is she going to do after? After she's done traveling around. Did she find someone else that she fell in love with? Did she ever get married and have kids? When she dies, did she find peace with Enzo? Are her and Enzo together in the afterlife? So I would actually love that. Like, what's going on with Bonnie? Like, and Bonnie is one of my favorite characters, which I loved her character in this finale, and just the strength that she realized she still has all this magic in her, which that was so cool, because from the moment Enzo died and she sent out that psychic blast, I was like, "Ooh, girl, you're still a witch. Like, you thought you lost your powers? Girl. You're still a witch. You're still badass." And so I love Bonnie. She is like the most badass character on the show. And seeing her with the hellfire, like pulling it out of the tower and sending it through the tunnels, and all that power that she has, and then having all the other Bennett witches around her helping her, and her Grams is there. I was just like, this is perfect. So, yeah, I love Bonnie. So I wish, they would have told us more about what's going on with Bonnie, because all we know is now she's gonna go travel. They didn't tell us anything else. Like, what is she, after the travel, what is she doing for a living? Does she work? Is she still just, being a witch, using her magic, and for what purpose? Like, what is she doing? And when she died, is she with Enzo again? Like I said, so much stuff that I don't know, and I feel like I don't have enough closure to this. Yeah, so that's Bonnie's character. And then, let's see, Caroline. Caroline is my other favorite character on this show. Bonnie and Caroline are my absolute favorite characters on Vampire Diaries. And one little side note, really interesting. So, in some of my groups that I do at work, I'll ask an icebreaker question at the beginning of the group. I'll ask all my clients an icebreaker question. And one question that I've asked before in the past is, if you could be any character on your favorite TV show, who would you be? And mine, I always said, was either Bonnie or Caroline from Vampire Diaries. So those are my favorite characters. I'd love to be either Bonnie or Caroline because they're super great. Bonnie is such a badass witch. I love her. Caroline, I love her as well. And Caroline goes through so much character growth. It's crazy. I feel like she changes the most out of all the characters on the show. I think Caroline changed the most from season 1, first episode to now. It's a huge difference. And I was noticing that when they did the TVD Forever and they were looking back on like the beginning first seasons, first episodes, and seeing how Caroline was like, yeah, she changed a lot. Like, a lot. And I just love the changes that her characters go through. And I love, the character that she becomes now. She's so strong and fierce. And, yeah, I love Caroline. And so I have to talk about this little moment. So when Caroline is at her school doing stuff for her school, and she gets the letter from the donor, I was just like, yes. Okay, so I will say that Caroline and Stefan, they were cute together, but I have always loved Caroline and Klaus from the moment, like, I think I've talked about it in one other video somewhere, but like from the moment that Klaus had said to Caroline, and I don't remember which episode this was. It was like the graduation episode. But Klaus said to Caroline, Tyler's your first love. I intend to be your last, no matter how long it takes. And I was like, yes! Ever since the moment I have loved and shipped Caroline and Klaus together, I was like, yes, Caroline needs to happen. They need to be endgame. And then she gets the letter from Klaus, who donates all this money to her school. And in the letter on the bottom, it says however long it takes. And I was like, yes, it's still there. So, Caroline has got to go to the originals. They've got to move her over. I don't know when, I don't know how, but they've got to make a way and move Caroline over to the originals. Because Klaus, he said it however long it takes. And I'm waiting however long it takes. I want to see Klaus and Caroline together. Endgame, definitely. So I was super excited when I saw that letter from Klaus because it gave me such hope for Caroline. Not that I didn't want Stefan to be happy and be with Caroline. I wanted Stefan to be happy, but I was like, nah, I want Caroline with Klaus. They're just so cute. And I feel like she makes him better. Like, not in the same way that Elena makes Damon better. Elena definitely makes Damon a much better person, especially considering how horrible he was before he met Elena. So she definitely makes him a better person. And I feel like Caroline makes Klaus better as well. Not in the same way and not on the same level, because there's still a lot with Klaus. Because Klaus has a lot more barriers than I feel Damon has. Damon, yes, he's been hurt. Yes, he's had all these bad things from his past. And he's got like 200 years of crap that he's dealing with. But Klaus has got over 1,000 years of abuse from his parents, not feeling wanted. You know, he's just got so many barriers and walls up. I feel like Klaus has like the Great Wall of China between him and anyone trying to get close to him. So definitely, you know, it's not going to be on the same level, but I do feel like Caroline does make him better. She makes him think. She challenges him to think, you know, and to stop and go, hey, I don't have to be, you know, I don't have to be this evil villain, you know, person. I can do something good. I can be better than my past, you know, even though I've done, you know, crazy stuff in the past that's like, how does anyone be redeemed for all the crazy crap he's done in the past? But I feel like she gives him that sort of, you know, even you can be redeemed sort of feeling. I don't know if I'm making sense, but let me know if I'm making sense. But that's how I feel with their relationship. Like, I feel like she helps him to see that even he's not a lost cause. Even he can be redeemed. And so she's got to go to the originals. So anyway, I know I'm jumping around everywhere. Like I said, I should have written notes, but I didn't. So my thoughts are kind of all over the place. But, oh, Stefan dying. Oh my gosh. I was not expecting them to kill Stefan. And they actually killed him. At least I wasn't expecting. He's human now. So I figured, obviously, he's gonna die. He's human now. But I thought they were gonna show him, like, kind of how Damon and Elena was. Like, he had this long, happy life and then died at an old age. But no, he, like, sacrificed himself for Damon, and he got rid of Catherine for one, but then he's just gone. He's dead. And I don't know, at first when I realized he died, I was like, no, I want Stefan to be happy and alive. Again, I'd rather have Caroline with Klaus, but that doesn't mean I don't want Stefan to be happy and find happiness. Like, I don't want them to kill off Stefan. No. But then, like, right after he walks out of the school building, and we see Lexi standing there in front of the car, it's like, yes, Lexi. And then I was like, okay, I'm okay with this. Only because at least Stefan has Lexi. He can be happy with his best friend. And they can be in peace together. Although, that was like the only moment they showed Lexi. And towards the end, when Damon knocks on the door and sees Stefan, and he's like, "Hello, brother." And I was like, wait, where's Lexi? Like, because we see Stefan before he opens the door. He's just like standing in front of the fireplace drinking, and he hears the knock on the door, so he goes over there. But at that moment, I was thinking, wait, where's Lexi? He's supposed to be happy and at peace, and Lexi's supposed to be keeping him company, and so he'd be happy. Where is she? Like, they showed her that one little moment when he first walks out of the school, and then it's like, really? Come on. I wanted more Lexi. So, I love Lexi. I loved her character as well. And when they killed her off earlier in I forget what season, was it season 2 or something? I don't know. But they killed her off pretty early on in the season. I was just like, oh, I like her character. So, anyway, like I said, just so much closure that I feel like I'm not getting. So I want to know, okay, where's Lexi? What's going on with her? Where is, what's going on with Bonnie? What's, everyone. Just like, I didn't have the closure that I wanted. So, and then Alaric, what's going on with Alaric? Is he happy? Did he ever move on? Did he ever find someone else? I know he's running the school with Caroline, and he's raising his daughters, obviously. But what's going on with Alaric, Did he find someone else and have a happy ending? When he gets old and died, is he gonna find peace? Is he gonna find peace with Joe, his daughter's real mom, actual mom? Like, 'cause we see Joe at when Alaric is outside by the car bringing in stuff to the house, and the girls are running around, and we see Joe standing there watching over Alaric and the girls, and I was just like, oh, Joe, I miss Joe. So, what, did Alaric eventually die and find peace with Joe? What does that look like for him? Again, this is why it should have been a 2-hour episode, so it can answer. It probably still wouldn't have answered all of these questions in 2 hours, but it would have answered a lot more of them than it actually did. And then, speaking of ghosts that we see come back in the last episode, so we saw Joe watching over Alaric and the girls, and then we see Sheriff Forbes next to Caroline when she drops the stuff. We see her there, and I'm just like, I miss her. Sheriff Forbes, I think her death was the hardest to take because she died of natural causes. She had cancer, and she died of natural causes. And so I feel like her death was the hardest to take because I knew there was no coming back for her character. That's it. She's gone. There's no coming back. Whereas all the other characters, they all died of supernatural deaths. So it's like, whenever they die, I'm like, okay, you're probably gonna come back. I'm expecting you to come back. You died supernaturally. So, and everyone who dies on the show supernaturally comes back. Jeremy came back. Bonnie comes back how many times? Alaric has died and come back. Like, Elena died and come back. I'm like, if you die a supernatural death on the show, I'm just like, Stefan died and came back already too. Damon as well. Stefan and Damon both died and came back already. So I'm just like, you died a supernatural death. You'll be back. I'll see you again. But Sheriff Forbes, there was no supernatural death. It was just her. It was natural. It was cancer. And so I knew for her, it's like, this is final. There's no coming back from this. And vampire blood can't heal her. There's no coming back. And I was just like, oh, no. So that was the hardest death, I think, for me to take. And then when Caroline was crying at her, or not crying, when she was singing at her mom's funeral, I was crying. She wasn't crying, she was singing, I was crying when she was singing, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is too much. So anyway, like I said, everyone else who dies supernatural, they always come back, which is why I was surprised and disappointed that Enzo didn't come back. I was so disappointed. I was like, no, what? How is Enzo? Because I swore the minute Enzo died, I was like, they're going to bring him back somehow. They're going to find a way, and they're going to bring him back. Yeah, he had his heart ripped out, but it's Vampire Diaries. No one ever really dies, so they'll find a way to bring him back. And the next episode after his death, we see Bonnie was trying to find a way to pull him out and bring him back. And so I thought they were going to bring him back, but then they didn't. And then I was just like, what the heck? Everyone else came back. Why can't Enzo come back? This is bull. Like, everyone else who died comes back. Stefan had his heart ripped out at one point. He still came back. Why the heck can Enzo not come back? And so I'll have to say, I was kind of pissed about that. I was pissed that they didn't bring Enzo back. Especially because I feel like Bonnie deserves to be happy. She's had so much crap go on in her life. She's died how many times already? She's lost people. She lost Jeremy. Yes, Jeremy came back, but still, she lost him. She lost Elena. She's just had all this crap happen to her. And I was like, if anyone should be happy and have a happy ending, it should be Bonnie. Especially because she's always sacrificing herself for everyone else. She sacrifices herself, her happiness, for her friends, for everyone around her. And I'm just like, damn it, this girl deserves to be happy. And they're gonna freaking ruin her happy ending yet again by killing Enzo and then not bringing him back. Even though I know they could have brought him back. Because they brought everyone else back. So I know they could have brought Enzo back. So I'm pissed that they didn't bring him back. So, and then also in the beginning of the episode of the finale, when Bonnie, she basically uses all the magic, and she lets the twins use all the magic she has, siphon her to kind of get rid of the fire, all the fire in the house. But then she sort of collapsed, and I think she might have died for a minute or so and then came back or whatever. But it was that moment where she saw Elena. Elena was awake. She saw Elena, and then she saw Enzo there, and Enzo told her, sorry, love, it's not your time yet. And I was just like, really? I would be okay if it was her time just this once, because just this once I would have been okay if Bonnie did die, only if she was able to find peace with Enzo. Like, if she could have found peace with Enzo, then I would be okay with her death. But she didn't die, which I'm not saying is a bad thing because I love Bonnie. But I still want her to be happy. And I was so mad that they ruined her happy ending. It's actually kind of interesting. I was pointing out that out of all the couples on this show, the only two that actually got their happy ending was Damon and Elena. Because Stefan died, so even though he's at peace with Lexi, he didn't get to spend his lifetime with Caroline. Caroline is now alone again, although she's still got Klaus, which I'm happy about. But for now, she's alone again. Bonnie lost Enzo, so Bonnie's alone again. And so it's just like, out of all the couples on the show, the only ones who actually got their happy ending and got to be together and have a happy, long human life together was Damon and Elena. Which I love Damon and Elena, but it's kind of messed up for the rest of them. Although I also want to know why Damon and Elena, when they finally do die and have peace with their families, Elena's with her family, Damon is with Stefan, and they found peace and stuff. But I want to know, like, why do they still look young? Like, if they had really lived this long, happy life and died at an old age, supposedly, why do they look young still when they reunite with their family? Shouldn't we see an older Elena and an older Damon? I guess now I'm kind of being nitpicky on little things, but I feel like they should have been older. They didn't die at that young age. Everyone else, I can understand why everyone else looked young the way they were, because they died at that age. They died young. So, her parents, Aunt Jenna, Stefan, her dad, they all died at the age they looked when they were reunited. So I understand that, but Damon and Elena, I felt like they should have looked much older. But anyway, probably being nitpicky, but whatever. So I think that's pretty much it, you guys, for my thoughts on Vampire Diaries and the season finale and everything ending. And yeah, I know my thoughts are kind of all over the place, and this is going to be a pain in the butt to edit, but I know my thoughts are all over the place. But yeah, those are just some of the things that I've been thinking about. And again, I wish I had more closure. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts were if you watched the finale, which if you watched this video, hopefully you've already seen the finale. But let me know what your thoughts were on the finale. What shocked you? Were you disappointed? Were you satisfied? Let me know in the comments below. And also, what do you think is the best show ending ever? I feel like it's Charmed, but I haven't watched every single show out there. So let me know what you think is the best show ending ever. So yeah, leave me a comment down below, and I will see you guys soon with another video. Bye.